Week 7 of the NFL season is in the books. We had a lot of craziness this week. Let's recap everything that happened. We're going to start off with the Broncos versus the Saints on Thursday Night Football. Not much to say here. The entire Saints team is in ICU right now. Receivers are all out. Quarterback is hurt. Defense is starting to fall like flies. Saints' run in the first two games was unheard of, and now they're sitting at 2-5. And the frauds like I knew they were. Shit performance from the Saints, but what else would you expect from fucking high school players? Because half the team is out. Broncos played unbelievable, but they played a shit team. Broncos are 4-3. They've looked great at times. They've looked piss at times. In a game like this, you're expected to win. By far, you're expected to win. And they did just that. They came out there, they outplayed New Orleans, and did what they had to do. Overall, great offensive performance, even better defensive performance. Rattler looked like a rat and was scared, and you could see it in his eyes. Great job, Denver. You got a serious defense, and the offense is slowly starting to prove, especially if you could establish that run game. If Denver establishes a solid run game, they could be a scary, scary-ass team. But overall, great win. Saints, I hope you enjoyed the first 2 weeks, because the rest of the season is just going to go downhill. Downhill fast. Next game, we're going to go to the London game, the Patriots versus the Jaguars, in a super weird one. Patriots go up 10-0 in the first quarter. I'm sitting there thinking, holy fuck. Jaguars are really about to lose this game. They're going to lose 2 London games back-to-back, and they're really about to start 1-6. Doug Peterson's going to be fired, and he's going to be fucking taking the Titanic back to Jacksonville. But I was wrong. I was wrong. Jaguars turned it the fuck up, realized, holy shit, we need to win this game, because if we don't win this game, we may not win another game in the rest of the season. Put up a monster 32 points, just continued to ball out, move the ball at will, and it was just with ease too. Tank Bigsby played lights out. I'm not saying he's better than Travis Etienne, but goddamn it, if I was Dougie P, I would be considering benching Travis Etienne for Tank Bigsby, because this motherfucker literally is a tank and plays like a hard as hell. Overall, 2 bad teams. I mean, really, 2 super shit teams. One of them had to win, one of them had to lose. Patriots, we expected to be this bad. Jaguars, we didn't. But nevertheless, Jaguars could still find their groove, but it's going to be really difficult. I truly believe Jaguar season is still over. This is a good win they needed. A morale booster, if I may. But in the long run, I don't think this game's going to matter. Maybe for draft seeding it will. Who's picking first, who's picking second, it might. But overall, it was a mid-game. Patriots played like shit besides the first quarter, the first 10 minutes of the first quarter. And Jaguars, hey, maybe this sparks a run for them. Maybe it doesn't. But at least they have some type of morale booster. We won a game. We won it pretty big, right? They won by 16. And everyone played well. I have to say, great run game. Trevor played good. You know, they did what they had to do. Good win, Jacksonville. But don't jerk yourselves off too much. It's not like you're going to win the fucking division or even go to the playoffs, you know? Let alone finish above 500. Because at the rate you're at right now, you're not finishing above 500. Next game, the Seattle Seahawks versus the Atlanta Falcons in a juicy one. A game I got right, thank God. Seattle, I knew we're going to win this game because it was a very trappy spread. Falcons should be favored by much more than 3 points. Like I said, I said it in my prediction video if you saw. The spread should have been much higher. Yet it was clear that Seattle, for some reason, had an advantage. Not sure why. They outplayed them in every aspect, offense and defense. Offense moved the ball at will against Atlanta. And more importantly, the defense made huge stops when they had to make those huge stops. And they forced turnovers. They scored points off a turnover. They had a forced fumble for a turnover. For a touchdown. And just the overall strong performance from Seattle. I still think both of these teams are pretty strong. I'm not as big on Seattle as I am as Atlanta. I think Atlanta is still much better than Seattle. And in the long run, Atlanta's going to go deeper, a lot deeper than Seattle. But it was one of those games where, any given Sunday, Seattle comes into Atlanta and whoops their ass somehow, some way. It just felt it was going to happen exactly in this way. And, it was an impressive win for the Seattle Seahawks. A good win to get them back on track. They were on a 3-game losing streak, and they really needed a win. And especially over a team that's pretty strong. I expect Atlanta to still make the playoffs, but Seattle did what they had to do. It was a great overall performance. Good shit, Seattle. Next game, Houston Texans versus the Green Bay Packers in a banger of a matchup. Absolute banger of a matchup. Back and forth and back and forth. A true battle between two great quarterbacks who are the future of the NFL in CJ Stroud and Jordan Love. It was a battle. Now, what truly kills me, and for those of you that gamble, y'all know, Packers -3 was a tough beat because you see the score up there. They won by 2. And as someone that had Packers -3, god damn it, that was a tough L. It was a really tough L, especially knowing that Jordan Love threw a deep ball to the end zone. I think it was to Jordan Reed, whatever his name is, that was broken up, which was tough. I really wanted him to catch that touchdown for gambling purposes. Nevertheless, Green Bay won like I said they would, and they did what they had to do, right? They played well enough against a super strong team. You're not expecting them to come out and beat the Houston Texans' ass, but they had to win this game. It was much more important for them than it was for Houston. The division in the NFC North, in a sense, is just a dogfight, an absolute dogfight right now. And Packers are in a much tougher position than Houston. Houston's fine. Houston's 5-2. They looked great in this game. I fully expect them to continue their run of dominance, and they're going to continue to win. Because, let's be real, Titans, Jaguars, and the Colts are not challenging them. Texans are another level than these other 3 teams, and they should still win their division with ease. As for Packers, this is a much more important game. They played their asses off and fought real hard for this win. 5-2 now, looking really good. And just an overall a great performance. Both of these teams come out with a win. They played really good, great football. 2 great teams going head-to-head in what can easily be a Super Bowl matchup. I don't think it's going to be a Super Bowl matchup, but shit, both of these teams could easily make the Super Bowl. And I don't think me saying this is all that crazy. I think most of you would agree. These are 2 contenders right here. I mean, what else is there to say, right? We're going to move on to the next game. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the New York Giants, in which a game I got wrong. Saquon Barkley revenge game, literally. Saquon beat the shit out of the Giants. Beat the shit out of the Giants. Embarrassed them. Absolutely embarrassed this Giants team. Made them look stupid as hell. But let's remember one thing. Saquon is offense. He dominated the Giants' defense on the offensive side of the ball for the Eagles. But that doesn't excuse the fact that the defense for the Eagles played lights out. Danny Pennies looked horrible. They benched his ass. Did he even have 100 yards? I don't even think he had. He had under 100 yards. And if he had 100 yards, it's like 101. He barely scratched 100 yards. Horrible performance from the Giants. Just when I thought this offense was starting to get a little bit going, get a little bit hot, they dropped the ball horribly. Barely score a field goal, and I mean barely. 28-3 embarrassment against a division rival that's also looked pretty shaky at times. Yet, Giants now 2-5 and in such a bad position. Just when you thought if they win this game, they'll be in a great position. I thought they would play the Eagles much better, much closer. And even if they ended up losing, at least they would have lost by like a field goal or a close little game, right? This was just an outright embarrassment. The game was over. It wasn't over right when it started because at first it was a defensive battle. 0-0, I think, after the first quarter. But then the Eagles just turned it up and the Giants couldn't stop them for the life of them. Eagles, I still think, are a bit fraudulent, but Giants are not what I thought they were. They're not what I thought they were. In reality, they are who we thought they were preseason, right? They are who we thought they were. Horrible L for the Giants. I lost a couple dollars on this game, of course. But fuck it. I'm not going to say the Giants are going to bounce back, but the Giants are definitely going to play better than this shit show because I don't know what the fuck happened out there. As for the Eagles, Saquon has been playing amazing, and he's just rubbing it in the face of John Mara on that entire Giants team. Giants GM got to be on suicide watch because John Mara is going to fire his ass soon. Because letting Saquon walk, especially when Mara was saying, fuck no, don't let him walk, and letting him walk and he does this to you, it's pretty bad. It's a fireable offense in my humble opinion. But I'm not the owner of an NFL team. I'm just a dumbass who talks about football. Next game, a pretty boring one in my opinion. I mean, Dolphins versus Colts in a shit versus shit matchup. Dolphins just looked horrible out there. Snoopy did not play as well as you would hope. And even then, Snoopy got hurt and they had to bring in Tim Boyle. Oh my God. How, as a Jets fan, how is Tim Boyle in the NFL still? The man's collegiate career was like 1 touchdown to 13 interceptions. Horrible. It's asinine that this man is still on an NFL roster and not playing in fucking CFL or XFL or any of these other lower leagues. Because what the fuck is going on with Tim Boyle? How is this man? Who does he know? Who does he know? Who is his daddy? Somebody needs to tell me who Tim Boyle's daddy is. Because clearly it's some fucking general managers or high-level executive. Because what the fuck? Besides the point, Dolphins, y'all better pray Tua comes back. And I have strong feelings about Tua coming back, which we're going to get into in the prediction video, assuming he's going to be announced back by that point. With that being said, Dolphins have a glimmer of hope. But as of right now, you're 2-4, your starting QB is out, and your 2 star receivers in Waddle and Tyreek are just horrible. They can't do anything without an efficient quarterback passing them the ball. And you'll never win like this, unfortunately. As for the Colts, you won, but at what cost? It's time to admit it. And even though I've been saying it, I hope some of you will see it now. Sleepy Joe Flacco is better than Anthony Richardson. The final score in this game, if Sleepy Joe Flacco was playing, would have been like 32-10, not fucking 16-10. Colts barely scraped by the Dolphins. And I get it. JT was out. Yeah. Dolphins are ass. They haven't been able to do anything this season since Tua went down. Come on now. You have to, and I mean you have to, play better than this. Have to. Anthony Richardson, you are the Will Levis of Cam Newton's. That's how we'll call you. Ass. Just ass. Come on, man. What the fuck are you doing out there? You're about to get outplayed by Sleepy Joe Flacco, who's damn near 40 years old. He's twice your age. If I'm not mistaken, Joe Flacco is the same age as Anthony Richardson's mom. Just so you understand how much of an age gap these two have. And yet, Joe Flacco's better. Colts, you're 4-3, but with Anthony Richardson, you're not going to finish above 500. Either pray he gets hurt, which don't pray he gets hurt. You never want to pray for another man's injuries. That's not the right way to phrase it. But you just better hope that the coaching staff realizes this before it's too late and plays Sleepy Joe over Anthony Richardson because Richardson is meh. Next game, I don't even want to keep talking about this bullshit. A game I do want to talk about, an absolute banger of a game, the Lions versus the Vikings. In such a good one. It was a boxing match the way this game turned out to be. You have the Vikings who come out and take a strong lead early in the game. And then the Lions punch back, take an even bigger lead, and just make it seem like it's over for the Vikings. The Vikings then go down, score, stop the Lions, right? They stop the Lions, force a turnover, and score again. Now, it's late in the fourth. It's 29-28 Vikings. Lions get the ball, give it back to Vikings, and Vikings end up going 3-and-out. And the sad reality, that is what cost them the game. Because that 3-and-out and not being able to chew the clock just a bit is what gave Detroit just enough time to drive down the field and kick the game-winning field goal. It was tough. It was tough to see, especially as someone who had Vikings to win. Lions came out there and played and did what they had to do. They're first in their division now. Lions look better than ever, even without what's his name, Aiden Hutchinson. They still looked good with an amazing offensive display, clearly showing everybody in the NFL that, hey, who the fuck needs defense when we have an offense that can literally score at will, and no matter how hard you try, no matter how much pressure you send, you will not be able to stop the two-headed monster of Montgomery and Gibbs, even though Montgomery had a pretty shit game, and you will not be able to stop us in the air when we have Amon-Ra, Laporta, Jameson Williams. I mean, it is just an overall monster team. They're going to continue to dominate. They're going to drop games here and there, but this is a playoff team who may not only go to the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl. And what a crazy scene it would be if the Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl. That would be something else. But nevertheless, amazing performance from the Lions. Great performance from the Vikings too. You can't discredit Darnold. You can't discredit the team in general. I think the defense is what cost the Vikings a little bit. And yeah, Darnold could have played better, made better decision-making at certain points in the game. But what do you expect? They're undefeated up until this point, and they're 5-1. Isn't it crazy? They were undefeated up until this point. They lose one game, and they are no longer in first place in their division. What an absolute powerhouse the NFC North is, with every team above 500 and every team just looking like an absolute dominant force. Great overall play from both of these teams. You have two teams here who are contenders, even though, very interesting fact about the Vikings, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2018 season with Sam Bradford as quarterback where the Vikings started out 5-0 and ended up winning like 3 or 4 games the rest of the season, missing the playoffs. So, history suggests the Vikings could collapse, but I think this team is a little bit different. I'm expecting continuous huge performances from Sammy D. He's playing for his fucking life here, boys. He's playing for his life. He needs that starting job. He needs it, and he's going to continue to show everyone that he's not some scrub, he's not a bust, and he is an NFL starting quarterback. Lions, keep doing what you're doing because, one, you're fantastic to watch. Every Lions game is just pure cinema. Pure cinema. You can't say anything bad about the Lions. They are the new America's team. They really are. You love to see them win. You love to watch them play because it's just absolute domination on offense. And just overall, like, goddamn, who doesn't love Dan Campbell? I mean, seriously, who doesn't love Dan Campbell? Maybe Chicago Bears fans don't, and maybe Green Bay Packers fans don't, and Minnesota Vikings fans don't. But from an outside perspective, I love Dan Campbell. I love the Lions team. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm expecting big things from Detroit. Next game, the Tennessee Titans versus the Buffalo Bills. I was a bit wrong in this game. Mason Rudolph did play, but he got absolutely slaughtered by this Bills team. Not that we expected anything else. I thought Rudolph playing would mean that Buffalo keeps it a little bit close. Tennessee keeps it a little bit closer, but they still wouldn't have won either way. Buffalo was going to win this game no matter what. Home game. But all they did is come out and just assert their dominance a little bit more. They looked better. They looked faster. They looked stronger. And overall, even with all the shit we were talking about, Buffalo losing all their weapons, losing everything, 5-2, sitting pretty at the top of their division with no real challenge in front of them. Unless Tua comes back and starts to ball out. Because besides Dolphins' hope of Tua, they're ass. Patriots are ass. And don't even get me started on the Jets. We'll have a nice little rant a little bit later in the video when we get to the Jets game. Overall, great performance from the Bills. What else do you want me to say? Bills dominated Titans. Titans are 1-5. They're garbage. Bills are a good team. I don't know if they're winning the Super Bowl. There's a lot of strong AFC teams that I think will beat the Bills, but they're still a playoff caliber team that can make it to the divisional round easily. Good win, Buffalo. Next game. We got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Cleveland Browns. In a game which, yes, Cincinnati won 21-14, and yes, Cleveland is 1-6 now, but something pretty crazy happened, as I'm sure you all know. Diddy Watson, Deshaun Cosby, also known as Deshaun Watson, ruptured his Achilles badly. And I mean badly. If you watch that replay, you can see the fucking thing fly up in his fucking heel. Ugh, disgusting. It was nasty. You could see right then and there, it tore right there. The sad part was that people were booing him. Or I should say cheering that his injury happened, saying you deserve it. Just distasteful. Really distasteful. As much as I like to clown on Watson, you never want to see a guy get hurt like this. You never want to see that. But god damn it, we need to talk about the highway robbery committed by Diddy Watson. Are you fucking kidding me? Season-ending injury halfway through the season this year. Season-ending injury halfway through the season last year. Did he even play in 2022? Or at least like a full season? I don't even remember. It was just an overall horrible performance in his time in Cleveland. Man, what happened to Watson? What happened to Watson? And now the scary part about this, y'all better be careful. If you own a massage parlor in Cleveland area, or you're a masseuse, especially if you're a female, you better pray and pray and pray you don't get Deshaun Watson as a client. Because god damn it, bro's going to be in physical therapy feasting. His lawyers and PR team are sweating bullets, knowing this dude is about to get fucking massages all over again. And probably bust all over girls' faces again. Good win, Cincinnati. You're starting to find your pace again. 3-4, winning, I think, 3 in a row now. And with Baltimore looking as good as they've looked thus far, you may not win the division, but at least you're getting closer and closer and closer to the division, which is key. It's not over yet. Baltimore drops a few games here and there. Cincinnati wins a few games here and there. And all of a sudden, Bengals are running for the division, which no one could have ever expected 2 weeks ago, right? 2-3 weeks ago. It was a bad game overall. Shitty performance. I didn't even want to watch this shit. It was disgusting. Good win, Cincinnati. And hey, maybe Cleveland has some new life with Jameis Winston starting, because he is a character and a half, and maybe he can rejuvenate this Cleveland team, boost the morale, and win some games. Even though at 1-6, you're definitely not winning the division, and you may not even make the playoffs at this rate. But nevertheless, it was a good win for Cincinnati. Next game, the Carolina Panthers versus the Washington Redskins. And my glorious king, Jaden Daniels, hurt his little rib. I will donate my own rib to him if that's what it takes. But even with Daniels going down with that nasty injury, they beat the dog shit out of the Panthers. 40-7. I knew this game was over the moment Dalton threw a pick six on the very first drive. The very first drive, he throws a pick six. And it was all but over right then and there. Marcus Mariota bullied the Panthers. But even more importantly, it was an overall dominant performance from the Commanders, or I should say the Redskins team overall. Strong, super strong defense. Good offense in the sense that you're moving the ball well. Mariota didn't play lights out. It was just an effective pass game, effective run game where you would march down the field easily. And more importantly, the defense set you up for success. They continue to put you in a position where you win and did what you have to do no matter what. I pray JD is okay, because Commanders are winning this fucking division. Y'all heard me. I'm going to keep saying it. They're going to win this fucking division. If this isn't proof enough, I get it. It's the Panthers, the worst team in the league. But damn it, Washington is legit. Strong defense that can play when they want to play. And an offense with Jaden Daniels that would have put up 60 points if JD was in. I just hope JD's okay. I hope he recovers. And I hope that the Commanders continue to dominate and win, win, and win. That's the key. Next game, Las Vegas Raiders versus the Rams. I'm going to keep this one pretty short, pretty simple. Boring game. Shit overall. AOC got injured, so Gardner's back in the mix for the Raiders. Rams are injury riddled to the core, even though I hear that Cooper Kupp might be returning, I think, this week. But we'll see. Raiders won. Oh my God. Rams won somehow. They got pushed to the limit. They really did get pushed to the limit by the Raiders. Raiders did cover, by the way. I didn't bet this game, but Raiders did cover. They pushed the Rams to the very limit, and they played their asses off. Again, two teams that I don't think are making the playoffs, and just two overall teams that are not good. Nothing really to talk about here. There's nothing to say for the two of them. Okay, Rams won barely. Raiders are ass. Rams are ass, especially without their star players. Maybe Rams find their footing and get going a little bit more with Kupp coming back and Stafford having his weapons. But nevertheless, with a performance like this, 20-15 against the Raiders, you're going to lose to a lot of other teams if you play this way. Good win, Rams, but really, what can you take away from this besides, okay, you beat the Raiders, who are just a mess right now. An absolute mess right now. Even though AP low-key knows what the spread is and is trying to cover the spread. I don't know why bro's kicking field goals when he should be going for touchdowns in an 8-point game, but fuck it. I guess the people that had Raiders spread, y'all better send the thank you card to Antonio Pierce, because Buddy knows what he's doing for Vegas. All right, next game. Oh, God. Oh, God. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers. Why in the world? Why in the world did I think the Niners would actually somehow beat the Chiefs? I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. I have to stop betting against Patty Mahomes. The guy just continues to beat my ass. Even though Patty Mahomes has how many interceptions? 7 or 8 to like 6 or 7 touchdowns? It's horrible. Horrible season for him. Yet he's playing team football. The real reason the Niners lost this game. And I'm not even going to sit here and talk about Ayuk with all those drops, such a scrub that he is. Receivers playing meh besides Kittle for the Niners. And Mason not being able to run the ball for shit. Purdy lost them this game. Brock Purdy is the reason why San Fran played so badly. The interceptions, the overthrows, the miscommunications were just outright inexcusable. It was an embarrassment to watch. Sitting there with money on San Francisco, watching Purdy just airmail the fucking receivers right into the defender's hands for an interception is just a pain. A pain. The things that or at least the haters have said about Purdy are starting to come true. This man is nothing without his all-pro players. Look what ended up happening with no McCaffrey, no Debo, and Ayuk for only half the game. Like, they couldn't do shit. He couldn't do shit. Brock Purdy single-handedly lost the Niners this game. Now, as for the Chiefs, 6-0, the only undefeated team remaining. Surprise, surprise. What's there to say? Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl. Kansas City's going to win their division. We all know the storyline. We all know the script. Come on now. They just can't lose at this point. If the Niners can't beat them in a game that the Vegas even had Niners as favorites, I don't know who can. Except like the Raiders for some reason. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Y'all played well. Even though Mahomes played like ass. It goes to show Mahomes is at the point in his career where he's like, I don't give a fuck if I win MVP or I play like shit, as long as the fucking team wins the game. And that's the key for what the change in Mahomes has been. He's making sure the Chiefs are winning and does not give an absolute fuck about his stat line. Chiefs dominated this game. I know it says 28-18, but the score does not define how bad this game was for San Francisco. There wasn't really a point. Maybe late in the third when the Niners started to come back slightly, I was like, oh, maybe. But Chiefs just outright domination. Bullied the Niners and just beat the fuck out of them. Good shit, Kansas City. Surprise, surprise. You're the last undefeated team and you're the best team without question in the NFL. Wow. I'm so excited for another Chiefs Super Bowl. I mean, I would be excited because it would be a three-peat, and there's never been a three-peat in the Super Bowl era. But, come on. We want to see some parity in this league. I want to see Chiefs lose. I really do. At least in the regular season. Next game. A game in which my life was shortened by about 20 years watching. The stress levels probably were pumping up. My blood pressure, I don't know what it is, but it's probably through the roof. The New York Jets versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know I got a couple Pittsburgh Steelers fans, viewers. Congratulations. Steelers looked amazing. Russell Wilson played very, very well. I got to give him a lot of credit. The defense played very, very well. And y'all did what you had to do on both sides of the ball. That looked like Steelers football right there. To score 37 is impressive for a Steelers team that usually struggles offensively. Y'all did what you had to do. Effective running, effective play action, effective throwing with a great defensive game. Even with TJ Watt being neutralized. I feel like I didn't hear TJ Watt's name at all last night. And yet, it still felt like he made his presence and the Steelers defense carried the load even without him dominating the way he usually does. The Jets. I'm going to try to keep calm here and give a subtle analysis. Nothing too crazy. No way. The New York Jets are absolute poverty. I'm sick and tired of watching the same bullshit product week in and week out. What the fuck? Why can't we be functional? Why is it that every year we have to be a complete shit show and look horrible? The New York Jets had a better start to their season under Zach Wilson than we've had under this bitch, Aaron Rodgers. What the fuck? This team is so talented. It is so talented. And yet we cannot, for the life of us, win a game. We've lost 4 straight. 4 straight! We could have won 3 of those! We could have beat Denver, we could have beat Minnesota, and we could have definitely beat Buffalo. This was the first game where I'm going to sit here and say, yeah, we truly lost this game. And even then, when we were up, it was 15-6, I want to say, right before halftime. And this dumbass Aaron Rodgers throws that interception, which leads to a Steelers touchdown right before halftime. I knew it. 15-13 at halftime. 15-13 at halftime. The final score was 37-15. 37-15. Whoa. The Jets are an ass. Burn the fucking team down. Fire everybody. Rodgers, get your ass out of New York. We don't want you. You're a scrub. I'd rather have Darnold or Geno. Why is it that Darnold and Geno are ass when they're with us and they're amazing when they're without us? I know why. Because the Jets are a horrible franchise who continue to lose and continue to put up this horrible performance week in, week out. The season is over. Who are we going to blame this week? We blamed Salah 2 weeks ago. We trade for Devontae a week ago. This week what happened? Huh? Jets have to win out. In the AFC that's super tough, Jets have to win out. But the way they've been playing, they aren't winning shit. At this point, I'm already an advocate for start tanking and get a good fucking pick so you can draft a quarterback or at least make a splash trade and get some assets in return and maybe sign a quarterback off the street that can be serviceable. Better than Rodgers throwing interceptions left and right, and I don't give a fuck if one of those interceptions was the one bounced off fucking Garrett Wilson's chest and shit. The Jets are so bad. So bad. Good win, Pittsburgh. Y'all continue to impress me. Y'all keep doing you. You probably will win your division if you keep playing like this, especially with Russell Wilson playing the way he played. I got to give a lot of credit to Russ, Mr. Unlimited. Really embarrassed the New York Jets out there. Good performance, especially in the second half. Let's move on to the Monday night games. And we'll start off with the Ravens versus the Buccaneers in a game that was extremely high scoring and a little bit unexpected. I know I shit on Lamar a lot, and I know you guys give me shit for shitting on Lamar a lot. With that being said, I have to eat my words here a bit. You see, I'll admit when I'm wrong. Lamar balled the fuck out. Balled the fuck out. A damn near perfect passer rating. I think he had like 5 incompletions, but like at the same time, like 5 total touchdowns. The man played lights out. And the way he played last night, without a doubt, should make him the MVP frontrunner. I still have my doubts about Lamar in the playoffs, but again, it goes to show that this man's talent is undeniable, especially in the regular season. But with that being said, we can't give Lamar all the credit because there's a man in the backfield named Derrick Henry who has been fucking balling. He's been balling. It is unbelievable to see what he's doing at the age he's doing. I thought he was going to regress, and bro looks better than ever. He's just bullying people. Bullying people. Bro had like 160-something yards, a tutty. Damn. Derrick Henry just lights out. Fantastic player. The Buccaneers took an early lead, and I thought, okay, Tampa's going to do their thing. They're going to win this game. And then Lamar and the Bucs just took off. I mean, Lamar and the Ravens, I should say, not Lamar and the Bucs, obviously. Lamar and the Ravens just took off, and they dominated the Buccaneers, dominated from that point on. When Baker threw that interception in the red zone, deep in the end zone, I should say, it was over. It was over because from that point on, Ravens just turned on another switch and just bullied the Buccaneers. Bullied. The final score is 41-31, and in reality, it doesn't do it justice for the Ravens. This was an ass beating. The amount of garbage time touchdowns Buccaneers scored is the only reason why this game was that close. Besides that, Ravens blew them the fuck out. Blew them out. It was an embarrassment on the part of the Buccaneers. And worst of all, not only does Mike Evans drop a touchdown and hurt his hamstring, which we still don't know how bad it is or what's going to happen, but in the very end of the game, for some stupid fucking reason, Todd Bowell movements played Chris Godwin in that last drive, and it resulted in him fracturing his ankle, breaking his leg, whatever happened. He has a serious injury. He's out for the season, probably out indefinitely because that's a serious injury he has to recover from. Another massive injury he has to deal with, which could be the end of Godwin's career with the amount of injuries this man has sustained. And it's just stupid. Why is your star receiver out there in a game where you're down 10? Yes, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to score, cover the spread and cut it down. But we all know he was trying to cover the spread. And you lost a key element of your offense. You may have lost 2 key elements of your offense. What if they announce that Mike Evans tore his hamstring? You just lost both your top receivers. And the Buccaneers now sitting at 4-3. Their chances just drop significantly if they have to go without Godwin and Evans. It's going to be tough. This is a tough L for Buccaneers and a great win for Ravens. Ravens have been on fire. 5-game winning streak. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is stopping this fucking offense. It is unbelievable. I'm going to pay Lamar some respect. I know you guys want to hear that. I'm giving Lamar his respect. I'm giving him his flowers. That was an MVP-esque performance. He should be the front runner to win MVP. And he had a great passing game. As much as I hate to admit it, he had a great passing game. He really did. Buccaneers, you embarrassed yourself in every way possible. Blown out, losing your star receivers. Let's just hope you can recover from this because this could be a season ender right here, right now in Week 7. And then the final game, the ESPN Plus exclusive, the Chargers versus the Cardinals. I'll start with the Chargers here. The Chargers defense is pretty good, and the way they play offense isn't horrible, but they are clearly struggling to find the end zone. And the reason they lost this game, without a doubt in my mind, is because they could not find the end zone. They scored 15 total points on field goals. That means they fucking popped 5 field goals. Not one of those 5 field goals they were able to convert into a touchdown. It's embarrassing. You have to score touchdowns to win games. Arizona didn't play the best, but shit, they scored touchdowns. And the key play of this game, the key play of this game was that fumble early in the first quarter when the Rager, I think his name is, on the Chargers, caught the pass, was running in the end zone, and the Cardinals defender strips it out of his hand. The ball bounces out of the end zone, and it's a fumble on Los Angeles. Cardinals retain possession. That was a monster backbreaker. And one, that could have been the touchdown that put him over the top. It would have, because they lost by 2 points. Had that been a touchdown, it would have been a completely different game. Yet, Chargers fell short, and now they need to have a serious conversation about their offense. Because while their effective running game, they play slow, they play methodical, they need to score more points. And those field goals have to be converted into touchdowns if they want to win games. Because sitting at 3-3, in a weird little position where your offense is not helping Herbert, if Will Dissly is Herbert's best weapon, you have a problem. You got a big problem. You need some weapons, and Herbert needs to start throwing some tutties. As for the Cardinals, not a great game, but Kyler did his thing. He had a big 40-yard run for a touchdown. They had a clutch drive at the end. A little bit of help with the target, with the unnecessary roughness call, but it was unnecessary roughness. He hit him straight in the fucking crown of the helmet. But James Conner doing James Conner type things, busting down, rumbling down, setting him up for a field goal where they win the game. Thank God they won this game. I had Cardinals money line. I was rooting for the Cardinals. I still am kind of rooting for the Cardinals. They're a good cover team, in my humble opinion. And I feel that they are a sneaky little team to win the NFC West. Don't sleep on the Cardinals, especially with the Niners collapsing right before our eyes and Seattle being a bit fraudulent. I can see the Cardinals winning this division. I really can. It was a great performance by Arizona. I mean, nothing too big, right? They didn't blow them out, but you do what you have to do. They played well enough defense. And considering Arizona's defense has been the weak link this entire season, they stepped up and did what they had to do. And that is why Arizona won this game. That's all for my recap of Week 7. Stay tuned for more content coming soon.